Bortle here at YCS event with the boys. What's up, guys?
You already know.
Yeah, Knoxville. Nice. Introduce yourselves, guys.
My name is Santiago Guzman, aka Killswitch.
I'm Ruben. He piloted my deck this weekend into top 32.
Nice. What are you playing?
Thunder. Danger Thunder.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, man. Let's get into
Played
it.
3 solar. It's a card you want to see in every opening hand, so I think this number won't change.
Best normal summon.
Best normal summon. I felt we needed just one more normal summon, like doing the math, seeing solar about 33% of the time. I just didn't like that, so we played Armageddon Knight. Not as good, but it still fills in the same role about sending Roar or Dark. It can also send Diabolos when you need it to, so it has the versatility with it.
Yeah. 3 OG, standard, right?
Yeah.
2 Roar, 2 Hawk.
So
could
this could change. I was planning to play the prize card this weekend, so I was going to be cutting one of these for it, but I didn't get my hands on it. So I just decided to play it and just not increase my deck count to or put more dangers because there was no other card I wanted in my deck. The second Roar helps you grind by adding back a Hawk or a duo in very weird situations.
Yeah.
And the second Hawk is nice because it lets you discard it off of danger without caring too much or having to roar it back.
Yeah. And 2 Dark.
Standard and then the 1 duo.
Yeah. 1 duo. And all the good dangers. And then this is standard. This is kind of iffy.
Yeah, I didn't
worked
come
out
up with this. It was told to me by my friend Andres. He said it's good because it's a 28 stick, so you can attack. So he's not wrong, and it's just another level 8 to summon off Jackalopes to make your rank 8 plays.
Yeah.
So it's not bad, and we used to play Greffer in the deck, so having Greffer Nessie made you gain a lot more value. And I just thought I wanted to play 11 dangers. I just didn't know which one the 11th one was, and I thought Chupacabra and Mothman didn't have as much versatility as Thunderbird did, especially with how big it was and being a level 8.
Yeah.
I heard you pitched this card with Twin a lot.
Oh yeah, I pitched
Twin
this with,
Wizard?
my opponent had double summon limit and there can only be 1 set. He flipped it in the standby phase to play around Denko. I went Twin, discard Thunderbird, and just won the game.
Oh, dang. They got
And
lost.
3. This is standard. I feel like the sheer power of the card just makes you play 3. Sometimes it can brick, but
You just need to have it.
This card is so dumb. Even if you brick and open multiples, if your opponent's not killing you, you're going to kill them next turn because you're summoning 2 3K sticks.
Yeah.
It's just so powerful. Even if you have the prize card, I'd be playing 3 and the prize card. The card's just so powerful. Being able to summon it multiple times a turn, rip a card, either bring back something a lot of people don't know you can summon Lancia if you banish 3 lights in the mirror match, and then you can Lancia them again, which is really important to know key things like that, or the destruction effect, being able to chain block it so you can't get roared or things like that is just really important.
you can summon Ogre versus Pendulums, bring it back, right?
Yeah, just different interactions like that.
3 babies. I felt like I played 1 of these and 10 of these.
You do a lot of dark.
Yeah, multiples, and I never had a white in the grave.
I agree with that. I drew the Black Dragon so many times. One of my losses came because this was my opening hand with the Jackalope, and I got connected. But besides that, I think you just needed to see a baby dragon. And I used to play defrag, and I just didn't think it was good enough, Destrudo either, because having the 3rd black gives you 2 monsters instead of any other dragon extender just being 1 monster, and I felt that was a lot more important.
Yeah. And round 1, game 1, I think this is what I opened versus Jesse after I resolved Sekka and OG. And I can't remember the other card, but it was terrible.
Drawing a bunch of chaos monsters can brick you, but they're just necessary evils for your deck.
But would you consider changing this?
This is the one card I probably wouldn't change. I still think it was correct because there was multiple times where I had to grind because I couldn't full combo and got hand trapped, and I used all 6 of these. And it just came up a lot of times in testing. I would just be missing 1 more search because I started with the Black Dragon, but starting with the Black Dragon just doesn't even matter anymore.
Yeah, definitely.
We played Brotor, but not just Brotor. We also played Wyvern.
A lot of people weren't playing Wyvern if they didn't play the prize card, but some people just didn't know the combos where you can still loop Wyvern with Pisty, even if you're not playing the prize card, which made it a lot more valuable, at least to me. I think the card's just great, and especially if you draw Brotor, you can start with Pisty and bring this back and then summon the Wyvern, so you can search so many cards, and a lot of people don't know the way this interacts. So you can target any card on the field, not just cards you control. So if your opponent has something that you want to search, you can just play off them, which is really important in the mirror match.
Yeah. And this card helps you unbrick going second. If you open nothing but darks and you have Roaring Grave, you can just crash something, ram something into an opponent's monster, discard, summon it, and it doesn't matter how many impermanences they have.
Yeah.
This is damage step, you're searching Levineer, and then like you're just comboing from there.
And then the last dragon, obviously Diabolos, single-handedly beats so many matchups. Like Striker can't out this. What's it called? Salad has a hard time outing this.
Yeah.
Trickstar has a hard time outing this if they don't have Corbin. It's just, there's so many decks that can't out an untargetable monster. On top of the fact that it rips a card and it's just a free special summon.
Yeah, there was a point where I played a Salad player, and he had Desired, and I gammed his Gazelle, so we started grinding, but I opened just really terrible and got really unlucky with my dangers. But I summoned Diabolos early in the game, and he banished off his rage, and he wasn't playing Bortle. So I think his only out was like
Avermax.
Avermax if he's playing it, or like Baguska, and then Leo attack over this. Like decks just have trouble outing this card. So.
Yeah. And then the 3 best cards,
Yeah.
3 seconds light,
This is-
pot agreed.
Yeah,
Better than
this
Pot
is-
Agree. You get another draw too.
Yeah,
No, but I don't know why people just apparently people don't play it.
a lot of people don't like this card. I don't know why, they just want to resolve the prize card.
They say it's risky.
I don't know, like, I played against Mindburn round 2, and I 2-0'd it and went second. I mean, yeah, not having like an out to mine or Twin Twisters in the main deck, the aspect that like if you don't want to play your best card, like if you want to side in Twisters, you can't play your best card, kind of does suck. But just the fact that you can draw 2 and mulligan a card in your hand for free. When you're playing a Monster Mash deck, because even if we didn't play this, we'd still probably be playing 34, 33 monsters. So playing 7 spells that are decent or 3 spells that are broken.
Yeah.
Like 3 spells that are broken is gonna win every time.
Yeah.
So
That's I mean.
yeah,
40?
40 flat. Didn't want anyone blind dwellering me.
No blind dwellering.
Yeah,
I'm still delivering you. You got 40?
yeah. So then next extra deck, Tuolti Colossus.
Nice.
I wanted to play a 3rd one, no room.
It never came up. You can roar this back.
Yeah, that's another good thing about having 2 roar. You can put it back.
But it never came up. The third
Yeah.
never came up for me.
The 3rd came up for me once, but I was already in a position where I could win the game. It was just like a little bit of like frosting on the cake, so
Yeah.
didn't really need it. Hot red. I saw someone summon Crystal Wing, and I realized that Crystal Wing might have been better if we were anticipating a mirror match full event, which it was. So that was the big issue. I realized after turning in my deck list, Crystal Wing probably would have been better because of the amount of mirror match I faced, but I just didn't want to get even lead, which happens to me a lot at locals, and just testing online. So I felt like this was just generically safe.
Yeah.
The rank 8s, obviously, and then we decided to main this card.
This
A lot of
isn't
people-
obvious. We were playing Zombie Stein, right?
Some people, they play this and then they play a second rank 8. So most people play Zombie Stein. We decided to play this card. A lot of people don't know what this card does. This card's broken.
It's
You summon
single-handedly
it. You summon it versus Salad. It's like showing them Exodia. They just literally cannot play.
They can't Pancratops out it.
It's so
They
good
can't
because they can't
swing it.
rage it, and then a lot of people don't know that it has a continuous effect to gain attack for every monster in the graveyard. You just summon it sometimes and swing, and like they say that's fine, and then you tell them damage step, and then they're like, sure, thinking you're gonna do a damage step trick, and you just kill them.
Yeah,
it goes like
nice.
late game, or if you use a lot of cards to combo, this card goes up to like 5k attack, and it's just so dumb.
Yeah.
Then next,
The Guard Dragons, the cards that I think are going to get hit.
these are literally the
They're
best
the
cards in the
problem.
deck.
Yeah.
If you get to a board like this, you're winning the game. I don't care. Every time.
Never
The only issue with these cards is that you can only special summon them once per turn, but their effects are just so dumb. You don't have to summon to a zone that they point to, so you can just summon to different areas, which I'll show you once we're done.
Yeah.
That like different ways you can combo through boards.
And
Then-
typically you're linking them all up for this.
Yeah, the
2 huges.
second best card in our deck. This card should not be at multiples. It should be at 1 or banned.
Yeah.
Please ignore the fact that they are mismatching languages. They're still both original first, so it's okay, I guess.
Where do you get your foreign cards from?
PBG, sponsored.
There it is.
Yeah, shout out to PBG. But yeah, best card in the deck. You always want to make this. Sometimes sucks when you don't make it with 4 monsters, but there's just times where you don't need it. Like you look at your hand and it's so broken already, it just doesn't matter.
Yeah. B-Cob, I feel like this is a very important link monster. Sometimes I would do like Ruben does, I would lose the roll versus the mirror, and they would just make a Cerberus in the extra monster zone to trigger their whites and darks, and they would just go super neg. Like this card was, I went in this card probably every single game.
Yeah, this is probably like one of the better cards in the extra deck, which is kind of weird for a Link 2 that doesn't really have an effect. But the fact that it points 2 down is extremely relevant.
Yeah.
And like we'll show you after we're done with the deck profile, like how to combo just with this card, which is like really cool. And then to go along with the B-Cop to help you combo is these two. So these two are at least my replacements for Summon Sork and Reproductus with the new ban list.
Yeah.
This just like with Pisty lets you combo, which essentially 2 cards. Then the broken card, shout out to Kamal for this one. This card's so dumb. The fact that like it just doesn't target and you contribute from your hand is insane. Unless you play around Call by the Grave, special summoning like Brotor, Diabolos, or like.
And they have to chain Pankratops since like he's mentioned, it doesn't target.
Yeah.
So this card is just so dumb. I don't know why this card was made.
It's like an interruption that progresses your game state because a lot of the times you're looping Eclipse Wyvern and then you summon Brotor off this.
And then you just search Levineer for next turn so your opponent knows they can't win. Even if you get hand trapped and you end on like a subpar board, but you get to this, you're guaranteeing game next turn.
Oh, that reminds me. One time I bricked like horribly versus a Salad player. I opened like Eclipse Wyvern black.
It was
so I just made
it was
this
2 blacks
and
and a white.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he saw that game. I just made this and passed, and I prayed I was playing like a really bad deck, and I was right because I just bounced his Ladybug and I won.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, I played around Call by the Grave, obviously.
Yeah.
Like, I tributed a Roar.
Yeah.
And then next turn, I tribute summoned something over this, I think, and then I brought out Brotor.
Yeah.
And then I searched Levineer, I banished, and then it was.
A lot of people don't know that this effect happens just when it's tributed, not when it uses its effect. So they don't know how to play with it well. And then the last 2 cards, utility, go in second.
These cards came up a lot.
I never made this.
I had to Outer Colossus with this, and then I had a random danger. I made a Saryuja, and I had a white that I top decked off Sekka, and I full comboed through his board.
Actually, this came up once. I played against mine, and I just needed to link it away because he Chaos Trap pulled me twice on my Levineers, and then he warning my Phoenix. So I'm like, okay, you got 2 back row left. I'm going to make a Unicorn, and he just scooped. I didn't even get to use its effect. He just scooped, so I'm like, sure.
Too many answers.
Yeah, these are that's
like
important. Like
they're
this is how you
needed,
beat,
but
striker because like when you have a lot of monsters and they make a link monster, you just consolidate, and like
like these monsters, just like having generic monsters in your deck is very important because like for striker, if you have 4 or 5 monsters and they mine you and they put Hayate on board for some reason, because at that point they should just deck you out. They you just make this with 3 monsters, then you make this, and then you make a Phoenix to hit mine. If they Widow Anchor it, you just summon like any Chaos monster and make Unicorn. And if they Widow Anchor it here, you can just swing, and if they take it, you can just summon Levineer and the game's just over at that point. Like, you have so much card advantage. You can trigger like multiple effects when you make 1 Link monster. It's like...
Oh, you mean like crash the Unicorn into the Link?
It doesn't even matter. Like, the card is just... Mine is such a good card when like your opponent is bad. And that's the reality of it. The card, like, it can cheese wins, but it's not amazing.
So yeah, this every time I got to this board, I always won the game.
Yeah, like this is game.
This is just beat cop and any baby.
Yeah.
So that's why we played.
This is
decided to maximize baby.
Yeah, like if we saw a B-Cop and a defrag, it wasn't full combo, but if we saw a defrag and a black dragon, it turns into this, which is just game.
Yeah.
And especially if we like baited a hand trap earlier, like a lot of the times I would bait a hand trap by like making a B-Cop by tribute summoning a Dark or a Roar and using its effect with like 1 card left in my hand and they ash it, and then I just summon a baby dragon and they just lose.
Yep.
Yeah, so
same thing for me. Nothing.
And then the side deck, best card in my side deck, Driver.
Yeah.
Stayed out of my hand all weekend.
Hey, that's a good sign.
That's
Lucky.
good, Driver.
You're lucky.
3 Gamma. I drew it every time I had a monster on board. I drew this card. So broken.
I'm not gonna be able to look at this card for the next few days. So in top 32, game 2, I'm playing Paulo. And I gamma his Gazelle, and he ashes it, and then I gamma his Spinny, but then I open unplayable, but I try to crash with Brotor, and then he used Field Spell to make his Wolf 0, and I couldn't search Levineer. I had like 2 blacks in hand, no whites engraved, and then game 3, right? There's like 7 minutes left on the clock, so I make him start, thinking he's thinking I'm gonna go first, and he kept mind controls in his deck, so I was right. But he like Foxy, he hits Gazelle, he has Circle, he ends on Rage, full combo, right? I have 2 darks, a Hawk, a White Dragon, and a Nessie in hand. And since we only play 2 dark, I can't discard in the end phase, or else that game would have been over. And then guess what I draw for turn? Gamma. And then he snipes baby out of my hand, which I literally couldn't do anything from there.
So that was how you lost.
Yeah.
But like besides that, this card was just amazing.
I think a lot of people like didn't realize how broken this card was. It does what Veiler and Ogre does, but just in 1 card.
It beats
I think
Connector.
it beats Connector because
Beats
they can't take it
Dolphin.
out of your hand. It beats Call by the Grave, which is really important.
Yep.
And the fact that no one saw it coming ever.
The only card that played around this is Banned. I remember in
Yeah.
Goki format, they always had Soul Charge when I had
Yeah,
this.
if they don't have Soul Charge, I mean, the game's just over. Then, like I was saying, Ogre, in my opinion, this is the second best hand trap in this format. A lot of people weren't expecting this Crusadia deck that started becoming popular the night before. And we came to realize if we stop the Spatha, we win the game. Because they're stuck on an LP and can't do anything. So you're like, okay, we want to maximize as many cards and stop it, but are just generic. A lot of people played no material instead of this, but I felt like this covered a higher variety than no material. As no material could just hit combo decks, this could hit combo decks and control decks if you just had nothing to side.
What attribute is no material?
No material isn't a light either, so it comes up that this is a light. Like as you see, when we side into more lights to keep our chaos monsters live. Like our Lancias, lights. Obviously this is standard.
We're not even joking. There was times in the tournaments where I bricked so bad I had to normal summon this and then get the black drive baby out of my hand. But I win games and I normal summon Ogre.
Yeah, like if this was a no material, he just couldn't have won. It's like also these cards are also, except for Gamma, are also good if you decide to go first versus any combo deck. You want to side in at least one of these. Where if this is Gnome, this just becomes like irrelevant and we can only side in Lancia.
Yeah.
Which I liked as well.
You have to control no monsters.
Yeah. And then
this, by the way, just small. I won both of my pendulum. I lost the Daryl to both of my pendulum matches, and I drew this both game 3, and this is the reason I won.
Yeah, if this was no material, it wouldn't have done anything.
Yeah, because all right, the reason I won was because I hit his servant.
Yeah.
And if that would have been no material, you would have just negated it with Jackal, and I auto lose.
So
I'm definitely keeping this.
Just because we respect mine-ish decks a little bit, and back row, we played 3 twin. We decided not to play Denko because I think twin covers more ground, and if we play Denko, we can't. They're shotgunning their traps, and we can't normal summon Solar. And like the name of the game is normal summon Solar. That's why we only played 3 Solar. And this is good versus Orchist, while Denko isn't, because they can just get rid of it with Dingrisu or Rusty because they have the field spell face up. So this just becomes a lot better, in my personal. And then the last 2 cards, 2 Panker Tops. For me, I only side these versus like Striker and like Pendulum. Yeah, I guess. But
since
like
we're not playing Phantasme, this just doesn't conflict with any cards in our deck. It's just a complete free summon that they can only, the only card that looks out is like Call by the Grave. Hit mine.
And like speaking of Phantasme, as you can see, we didn't play it anywhere in the deck. The reason was I believe that card is a blank. It's only good in Salad when you're playing the mirror match. So you can put a beat stick on board they can't swing over, because if you're not drawing a hand trap off Phantasme, it doesn't matter. So why put a card in to maybe draw a hand trap instead of a hand trap? So that was pretty much the deck. I can show you the quick little combo. So it could literally be like you gamma them on your turn. It could be that, and then you have to have a black dragon. So this part, you make B-Cop up here, and then you summon Wyvern. Then you link this away, summon LP, searching the black dragon. Then you summon the black dragon. Make Pisty, search the white dragon. Now you use LP's effect and you special summon the Brotor. So this is where Brotor comes in handy more often, and use its effect. You never want to target itself, because if you get ogred, you discard a card and then you do not search. So very important.
Target itself.
So you discard it, and obviously you search Levianeer. So what a lot of people don't do is here you're supposed to link off and summon Triple Burst, so you can use Pisty's effect. A lot of people they either play Pisty or they don't know how to do it correctly. So you get to this point and you use Pisty, you just bring this back. It's just like another free summon, so you can make Agripane at the top, and then summon Hot Red. So at this point, this is like all free, and then you still have a Levianeer. So this is like, let's say they hand trapped you into literally having just this. You take another card out of their hand with Levianeer, just banish 3 darks, do another card, and then if you have no other cards in hand, what I do is you just link these away into a Saruja, and then you can make the Herratic link. Or if you have more cards in your hand and you want to try to like put a danger play on the board or a Thunder Dragon play, you can just link all 4 into Saruja and draw cards. It really depends, but just like blankly, you end on the Herratic link here, and then your setup. So this will either summon Diabolos or Levianir, and if you have any Chaos Monster in your hand, you summon Levianir to get it summons Wyvern, so you can get to Levianir. So this protects you. It's 2 interruptions with basically 2 cards.
It's crazy that was
So they're playing with 4 cards, and even if they have mine, they have to open like Widow Anchor, mine in order to stay.
Yeah.
Because if they have the second mine, like let's say you absorb the first mine, they activate the second mine, you chain this on activation, and it's negated until the end phase.
And then during the end phase, you tribute this to return the mine to their hand. That's how you beat the Striker mine decks. You negate 2 of them, and then the second one you want to negate with Hot Red. So during the end phase, you can tribute this, and it just leaves the field.
Yep.
So a lot of people don't realize you can do it.
Right?
Yeah, so I got even lead a lot in testing, and what I would do is I just tribute this, return my Colossuses, and I just keep a negate on the field. Because it's like, if they baited this, and I still have Titanic, I can just tribute this, put Colossus back so it's not gone. I'm never summoning this again, so I don't care if I banish this. And then they still have to deal with that.
All right, man.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Shout out to you want to get, bro.
Shout outs to Kamal. He got me back on the deck. I was a loyal Salad player for a while, and so was he.
Free Kamal.
Yeah, come on, free my boy Kamal. Shout outs to everyone from Locals, Andres, Shaheen, literally everyone from Locals that helps us test, helped me like get the deck to 40 cards. I was playing like an obscure like 48 card deck, and that was like 3 days before the event. So shout out to everyone for telling me I shouldn't do that because I'm just gonna get blind wallet all weekend.
Yeah. Who told you to do that?
Not you.
Nah.
Okay. Well, thanks for the deck profile.
Yeah, for sure, man. Congrats on you guys' top, and thanks for taking our guys.